And take 4. Yellow band with handles. Tension. So a breath is a tension, a band is a tension, a weight is a tension. You're adding load to your movement. So I'm going to do this in a lunge position, because when we walk, we always take one leg in front of the other, and the pelvis is going to tilt, rock in, the foot is going to plant, rolling through the femur, move forward. So I'm going to do it in a staggered stance. So I'm going to put one foot in, one foot back, and I'm going to take it into a lunge. So I'm going to lift my back heel, I'm going to tuck under. So I'm going to add a bicep as well, because I know that my arm lines are going to affect my pelvic floor, so I can work quite smarter, not harder, so combined a lot of movement in one exercise. So I'm going to try and get, I think that's quite good there, yeah, heel up. Okay, so I'm going to inhale to lower, bend the knee, exhale to lift. I've got an upward grip here, exhale. So again, this is I'm working pelvic floor here. So I could increase this, I could take it wider, yeah, I could add, so I could go up and I could add a bit of flexion in there to work on the inside and the outside of the hip, coming around the side here. You've got to focus on your balance too. But just for this purposes, I'm just going to go here. So I'm going to inhale, full, wide and deep. Exhale, coccyx, pubis, sit bone and lift. So I need to combine those 4 points on the pelvis, which we haven't really spoke about, but again, we would go through it thoroughly in class. So it's your coccyx, tailbone, your pubis, front of the pubic bone, your sit bones, these lovely bony landmarks, right about here. Okay, so those 4 points need to come together and work in unison to get your pelvic floor to function. So if you're having problems with leakage, if you're a runner, if you're jumping, if you do plyometrics, if you do trampolining, young girls who might be doing tumbling, what else is there, gymnastics, there's trampolining, all those lovely things, even netball. Netball, normally quite often you lunge both feet together, or you're in a lunge position because you've got to be on one foot up to turn. Anyway, that wasn't particularly great there, but there we go. How does your pelvic floor function, ladies, girls? How's it doing? Do we have a little bit of leakage? Do we have some embarrassment? Nothing really to be embarrassed about, because it's a really fundamental thing of our anatomy. Both male and female, actually, not just women have a pelvic floor, male have a pelvic floor too, even though I have a female pelvis here. But those 4 points need to work, and they need to work really when we're moving, because normally we don't have an issue when we are just stood still, nice and calmly. Something happens when you are running, when you're not expecting it, and you're not, you know, somebody might come, I hate this, this is my bugbear, when somebody comes and goes, oh, run, and I think, oh, great, that is really, really not good for me. Don't like it. Now I've got control, it's okay, but in the time back in the day, that wasn't good for me at all, so don't like that. But you might be with your kids. When was the last time you went on your trampoline with your kids? My neighbours have just had a big new trampoline. Great, so the kids are on them all the time. When was the last time you went on the trampoline with your kids? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you have leakage? You know, what can we do? I have nothing now. I used to be a runner. I still am a runner, but not like I used to be. Gone are my marathon days and stuff like that. I just do for a bit of leisure, a bit of heart health, which is really important. But I had problems, and I needed to get educated, because that's where I was in my life and my stage in my life. I'm postmenopausal, great, so that affects the tissues being postmenopausal, because your hormones are dropping dramatically. Your libido might go, your moods might go up and down, you might be crying 1 minute and you're happy as lark the next minute. You know, you might just be feeling crap. And that's what it is. You just might be feeling crap, but you might be feeling on top of the world. You might have night sweat, you might be, you know, just irritable. You can't focus, you have brain fog, all those lovely menopausal things. But you know what? doesn't have to be like that. It's all a mindset. So I went through my menopause very early. I was about early 40s, done and dusted, and really embarrassing, I guess. I didn't realise I was actually going through the menopause because I was quite young. And I always think of menopause as being, you know, one of those, 50 something. Well, I'm now nearly 55 and I'm done and dusted with my menopause, but I personally didn't take anything other than looking at my nutrition, looking at my health, my hydration, my self-care. But if I'd known now what I knew, if I'd known then what I know now, I probably would have done a lot more things. I would have done things much, much differently. Got my words all wrong at the moment, but hey, you know, just doing this live. I'm not going to edit this because this is just me. And this is who I am. So I needed to know about how I can just do my leisurely runs, you know, my 5K, 10K, without any embarrassment. So I got educated and learned about the pelvic floor, the function, what actually goes on in this, and what we can do to make things less embarrassing, and for us as women and men, but I'm talking about from a woman's point of view, you know, make us feel good about who we are and what we are. You know, we are busy running households, husbands, partners, whatever it is, and your own businesses probably. You also go to work, you have children to look after. We are juggling all these plates which are spinning around us. And probably, I don't know about you, but you know, I'd be right at the bottom of that pile somewhere with any time for me. No, not really, just busy, busy, busy. So changed all that and started looking after my health and what was important to me. So pelvic floor was an important part of me, and I needed to know how it worked and how it functions. So when I'm walking back and forth here, I am technically, unconsciously working my pelvic floor. If I lifted my leg out to the side, you could reach for something. I'm working my pelvic floor unconsciously. So what we need to do is bring a bit of mindfulness to working it consciously. So on the courses that that happen, on the Every Woman course, which is it's our foundation course about women's health and how you can move better, function better, and you know what? Feel better. Anyway, so this little baby here, going back to our little lunges, because when we walk, we take one foot in front of the other. Ultimately, we're not doing walking lunges, but we are taking the hip, one leg in front of the other, working the pelvic floor. So, I think I've rambled on enough about that little jobby. And the actual thing was about resistance, the breath, the connection of the pelvis, all the pelvis. Remember, the breath drives everything. Breath and ribcage, back and front, pelvic floor. Exhale, connecting all 4 points, breathing out, movement and resistance. So it isn't about standing at the sink, at the traffic light, in the shopping queue, which we might have been told, which is a start, don't get me wrong, it's a start. But like I said before, problems don't happen when we are really stood still. They happen when we're in movement, and we need to have a strategy, an ongoing strategy for that, for life, because we need to be that person, and you need to be there too. Anyway, have an amazing day. Let me know if you want to know anything else, whether you're enjoying the videos about the little bit of the pelvic floor, which nobody talks about unless you're probably a holistic core restore coach, which is what I am, and there are many of us all over the country and the world, or you're a woman health physio, which there are many of us well. So let me know. Stand by. Bye.